But, so when you have a controlled environment that has been controlled by, I talk about it became like a virus, and it's like the white blood cells, like those of us who've come to try and conquer this, to get the information out, to give people the opportunity to expand their consciousness, to use this opportunity. But it's a very controlled environment, very controlled. This is a huge battle. When they say, a battle for the souls, this is a battle for the souls. And when they say it's a battle for good and evil, but it is good and evil in the sense of control and independence. Because you would see in an elementary school, like, what would it be if we just went and dropped all the kids off and there was no supervision? Which is like, hey kids, go there. There's a learning center. Just go. You'll learn some stuff. There had to be supervision. So there's always been supervision. There's always been a controlled factor to what's going on. But then there was also the beings who, took advantage of it. That, it had to be a part of the whole thing. It had to be a part of the program here of development. So that had to be here. So we can't just sit here and just be like, that's what ruined the planet. No, we're ruining it currently, our own selves. Yeah, they may have control and dominion over a lot of our information, but we can also break free from that system and go out and look for our own information. But they're controlled. They're programming to accept what they have to offer. You'll have an internal. They can say, no, I have that. I know everybody has it. That's part of it's your soul, but you have to tune into your soul. And what they've done so much is to keep you not tuned in. Like, it's really is a huge graduation when you can really get to that, that little jewel inside of you, that essence of who you are. When you can get through, you can break down all of the barriers and the walls and the paradigms and the limitations and all of the things that has developed you. When you can break through and find that jewel of you, then that right there is just a huge thing to get to that step in your evolution. And to be fighting against how much misinformation and stuff is out there, and how much of this controlling kind of the dominance over one's mind, the MK Ultra of an entire society. So, but it is also breaking free from that and knowing what is right and wrong, because so many of the things that they are saying are wrong, and you can see what they're doing to people. They're destroying people. They're just making lives go faster. They are taking advantage of this system. It's kind of like there was a boarding school, and they just went all crazy and started taking advantage of this. I mean, we saw that all over the place. But that really did happen. But that's what I'm saying is it's us. They may have developed the system, but that one show I was watching, it's getting really interesting, clickbait, a crime show. But there was a couple things that was shown, that really disgust me, and I talk about this. Something bad is happening, and everybody just pulls out their camera. Like, they're so disconnected. They'd rather just get it on film. And I was watching this with my daughter, and she made such a good point. And she said, the whole world has become paparazzi. We're disgusted by paparazzi. We think it's a disgusting. I used to buy Us Magazine, People Magazine, and all that gossip crap, because I didn't want to read like Sports Illustrated and stuff like that. I'd rather read about people who seem like they're having fun. And when I started hearing about what was going on with paparazzi and following these people around and the invasion of people's privacy and all of the disgusting things that were going on. And then Diane getting killed with them saying that the paparazzi's chasing her, and they're trying to get away. Who knows what that whole real story is, but I think it's a lot more nefarious we're told. But that's us. We've become what we despise. These disconnected people, these people who are demanding others to say, hey, everybody needs to accept everybody, but you better accept me or something's wrong with you. It's like, you got to see. You have to see. You have to feel it in you. You have to know. You have to understand what you're doing. When I'm talking all the time about, people walking around saying things while they got their feet in their mouth, no awareness is they're putting the rules on someone else, that they're breaking them themselves currently while they're setting them out for others. That's not the way that we move forward. That's not Christ consciousness. That's not expanding thinking. That's not soul development. That is still being in a control environment, wanting to control others, control your environment by controlling others. That's unproductive, non-productive, whatever. It's not the way you want to go. So this whole thing, is each person is getting this opportunity. Things are happening in each person's life to get them the opportunity to question things, to start developing themselves, to align with themselves. And it's a process, It's not a quick thing. I think there's going to be, I've said for all along, there's going to be an abrupt light turn on. There's going to be an abrupt switch. Something's going to happen that is going to make people see things that they haven't seen. And that's why I've said so many times that people are going to wake up and they're going to see they're in the mouth of the beast. And it's sad and scary because it's like there's a lot of us sitting out here watching as they walk into the cave, knowing what's in there, and they just, blindly go in. While there's a paper outside that gives you the map and the diagram and explains what you're going into. But no, I don't need that. I'm just going to go in and see what's in there. Because the government went in first. They told me it was good. So this blind following, that's the whole thing too with religion. There's so many people. There's so many things I can't even go in and listen to a lot of things because it's so much about Jesus has come to save us. Jesus is going to save us. This is about Jesus. This is about breaking free from a three-dimensional system. Jesus, used as a religion to control people, was part of that three-dimensional system. It's breaking free from that. It's claiming your sovereignty. It is understanding who and what you are. You've reached a point in your development that information is out there for you. But you have to want it. You have to seek it. You have to yearn for it. You have to want to know who and what you are. You have to understand that you're more than what you believe you are. You have to know that in your heart. And, I can't judge any other soul who's not ready for that. You're all going to be ready at your own pace. So, a graduation will be here. And, I'm excited for it. I'll tell you what. Because as far as I'm concerned, I've come back to this dimension as a mentor. And I always, the whole time, one thing as a kid, I was really fascinated by my body. I would just look all the time at my hands and my feet. I'm not talking about like a toddler. I'm talking about definitely in grade school. I would look at my hands and my feet and I would think how cool. Oh my gosh, these things are so cool. Look at how perfect they are with their little toes and what they can do and how hands work and stuff. I was always fascinated by stuff like that. And I always knew in my own self that we had way more abilities, but we're bound by a heavy density here. This is development, and I think this is where it just keeps, developing more, the whole thing. But this solar flash thing that, which a lot of people would think of as death, but is a transition. And I think that is, how we move out of this denser, where we are able to start having more control over our bodies and levitate, and we use telepathy, and we understand ourselves. Like, I heard another person today saying, I don't remember out of the two that I listened to, but one of the persons was saying about how all of our different DNAs now are being triggered on, and a lot more DNA is on in some people. Like, as people awaken, more and more of their DNA comes on with more and more abilities. So yeah, when I was as a child, I knew that there was more abilities, and I could hear them talking. I knew in my heart I didn't need a rule book. So I just assumed that's how everybody was. I had no idea. It's only been more recent that I've really had a deeper understanding of really what's actually going on, and who I am and what I'm doing here, and this whole fascinating process that's going on. It's so exciting. And, another thing too, I just want to add this on, is, I talk a lot about these celebrities and stuff, and kind of, I don't think I'm talking shit necessarily. I'm talking real. Like, people have got to get out of this idle mind. But anyways, I had gotten a notification when I'm not on Twitter anymore, but I got this notification and it let me see this. For some reason, I can see this. And there is somebody who is a well-known celebrity. And for a while, they were kind of a downer. They were just kind of like, I just kept thinking, like, why do they keep bringing so much of this dark energy? Like, we need to be having unity. I was kind of confused, because I think of them as being more of somebody who has that deeper understanding like that. But I was just really excited, because the things I've been notified to see have been this person connecting with other people and really building them up. And it's very exciting. That is what we want to all be doing, is building each other up. Especially, I love building them up over art. That just is so exciting. People have just, art isn't about being better than somebody else or being as good as somebody else. Art is about a soul expression. It's about, it's getting teary. It's about a soul expression of, three-dimensional creative expression. And so many people have been cut off from that. So many people have been cut off from music and movement and all of these things that you find your soul in, because they didn't want us to find our souls. They don't want the souls to awaken. They want to keep them in this little prison system, because it works for them, because they are they are a parasite, parasitic bacterial growth on humanity, on a soul's development. Really, it's not just humanity, it's a soul's development, because they'll go to another place. When they lose this one, they'll go somewhere else. So but to find that in yourself and to build that up in people. And by the way, the ones that he is talking, was showing their pictures are fast. They're so good. Really, really good artists. There's so many good artists out there, and everybody should be built up to go in and find that inner artist, that inner musician, that inner adventurer. I keep getting a bunch of different words coming to my head, but that explorer of life. Like, I was also getting pilot, somebody who just wants to go out and just fly and just go out and, experience. So it is, this is really exciting times. I'm super excited about where we're headed. This is trying times during this part of having to, you know, when I talk about the heavy energy and, you know, how much different people are going through, yeah, it's very, but it's also an expansive, you know, this is going to be so expansive. I'm just really excited. So anyways, there was another link too that I shared. It might have been a channeler that was talking to a Palladian thing. There's been a couple of those I've seen lately, and I thought they have information that completely, you know, goes in with mine. I don't know. I was thinking dovetail, but I don't even know if that's right. Is it ducktail, dovetail? You know, when the information just overlaps, it creates a picture. And there's been some information with some of these channelers that aligns with the information that I also get. And another thing too, I just want to throw this out there real quick, that I find really, really interesting, because when I very first started this, you know, I said I want to get some of this information on the airwaves, and I understand completely about the connection and the 100th monkey and how we all are on, you know, especially some of us who are on the same wavelength. We're all sucking from the same kind of information. And so what I find fascinating is, like, I will be talking about something yesterday, I think it was, or it could have been the day before, but I went in and I heard somebody else saying the exact same stuff I was saying, and then I went and heard somebody else saying the exact same stuff. And sometimes I'm just fascinated when I'll go in and I'll hear David Rodriguez, and he'll be saying stuff, and it is the same stuff that I will hear or get information from. So I know that there's a lot of us that are getting this same information, and it's fascinating to me. It's exciting because you really start seeing the magic. You really start seeing the connection. You really start seeing, like, this is really all happening. And so it's super exciting. And there was another thing I wanted to say that just flew through my head when I was saying that. What was that? Well, I can always come back. What the hell? It's no big deal. I'll probably be back in a minute. I'll talk to you later. Bye.